Hello, in this video, I'm going to be discussing the new digital SAT, ways to prepare for the exam, including tips and strategies, and at the end, go over some sample test questions to give you an idea of what to expect on test day. Let's start with some basics. The digital SAT is an adaptive computer-based test, and you are given a total of 2 hours and 14 minutes to complete the test. The reading and writing portion is 64 minutes, while the math portion is 70 minutes. Today, we will focus on the reading and writing section. Let's take a closer look at the reading and writing section. The reading subsection covers various aspects of reading comprehension. Roughly half the questions belong to the craft and structure domain, and the other half deal with information and ideas. Due to all the test prep material out there on previous versions of the SAT, I'm guessing you are at least somewhat familiar with the previous versions of the test. Then you already know that reading passages on the digital SAT are a bit shorter than those in previous versions. If you're a student watching this, that should be music to your ears. The writing subsection tests your grammar and writing knowledge. 26% deal with standard English conventions, while the remainder cover expression of ideas. If you have used previous SAT writing prep books to prepare for the exam, you will know that the writing questions are largely the same. The biggest difference then is the exclusion of an essay. This is no longer a part of the digital SAT. Again, more great news if you are a student watching this video. When preparing for the reading and writing section, it is important to build up your vocabulary. Quizlet is great for practicing with online flashcards if you prefer those to traditional ones. Prospective college students have been preparing for the SAT for a long time, so there's a lot of prep material out there. Take advantage of all of it, including word lists. Be sure to visit the College Board SAT website, where you can find several digital SAT practice exams. Familiarize yourself with the question types I mentioned earlier. Knowing what will be on the test is a huge mental advantage. Finally, take the time to master English grammar. This is difficult even for American students, as many have not had formal training in English grammar. Learn all the relevant rules and conventions. Then, drill grammar questions to build up your speed and accuracy. Now, let's go over some reading and writing sample questions for the digital SAT. Former astronaut Ellen Ochoa says that although she doesn't have a definite idea of when it might happen, she blank that humans will someday need to be able to live in other environments than those found on Earth. This conjecture informs her interest in future research missions to the moon. Which choice completes the text with the most logical and precise word or phrase? A demands, B speculates, C doubts, D establishes. Because we know the blank is preceded by the key phrase, although she doesn't have a definite idea, we know the answer is going to be something about guessing about something that is not certain. A further context clue is provided in the final sentence, this conjecture. Conjecture means an opinion or conclusion formed on the basis of incomplete information. So the correct answer is B, speculates, because speculate means to form a theory or conjecture about a subject without firm evidence. Now let's go over a sample reading passage. In 2007, computer scientist Louis von Ahn was working on converting printed books into a digital format. He found that some words were distorted enough that digital scanners couldn't recognize them, but most humans could easily read them. Based on that finding, von Ahn invented a simple security test to keep automated bots out of websites. The first version of the reCAPTCHA test asked users to type one known word and one of the many words scanners couldn't recognize. Correct answers proved the users were humans and added data to the book digitizing project. Which choice best states the main purpose of the text? A, to discuss von Ahn's invention of the reCAPTCHA. B, to explain how digital scanners work. C, to call attention to von Ahn's book digitizing project. D, to indicate how popular reCAPTCHA is. When looking at the text, we can see that it focuses mostly on how the reCAPTCHA was created. Its origins are in digital scanners not being able to recognize distorted words from printed books. The passage also mentions its first implementation in websites. On the other hand, the text does not focus on the mechanics behind digital scanners. the merits of An's book digitization project, or reCAPTCHA's popularity. Therefore, the correct answer is A. Finally, let's go over a sample writing question. British scientists James Watson and Francis Crick won the Nobel Prize in part for their 1953 paper announcing the double helix structure of DNA. But it is misleading to say that Watson and Crick discovered the double helix. Blank findings were based on a famous X-ray image of DNA fibers, Photo 51, developed by X-ray crystallographer Rosalind Franklin and her graduate student Raymond Gosling. Which choice completes the text so that it conforms to the conventions of standard English? A, there with an apostrophe. B, it's with an apostrophe. C, there. D, its. We know the sentence with the blank is referring to Watson and Crick, a plural subject. This means a plural possessive pronoun is needed. The correct answer, therefore, is C, there. Time to wrap things up. After this video, you now have a better understanding of the digital SAT and useful ways to prepare for the reading and writing section. Take advantage of this information to achieve the highest possible score you can. Good luck!